Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 7th of October. How quickly this month is flying past, eh? Just like to cheer you up in the mornings. Right, let's firstly have a look at the calendar for today, the risk events for today. Well, with Thursday the 7th, let's get that in there. And there aren't that many. Again, Chinese bank holiday, unemployment claims in the US, that might get a little bit more of a looking at, but really it is very low rated data. I know we've got non-farm payrolls tomorrow, but it may, as I say, may get a little look at, but nothing much. Canadian IV PMI, not the biggest of moves, but so often we're not looking at it, so I don't really notice it so much. Like late in the afternoon, and 5 o'clock then we've got the Bank of Canada's governor speaking. So little to be had there in terms of risk. But talking of risk, and it seems that, well, we're seeing a switch off the dollar a little bit this morning so far. Looking at the euro, yesterday we saw it rolling off south. I noticed on the lower time, I say lower time frames, on daily time frame, here's a bit of divergence on my aggressive RSI setting, which is almost inevitable when you get this, but it's not showing on a sort of longer term indicator. This is a longer term indicator. It's MACD, not really showing, but the early signs are there of something maybe a bit more upside. So we are seeing a bounce. We're seeing a bounce as I speak. We're seeing some quite a bit of movement. It's through its daily pivot here. See what happens post 8 o'clock. It does look like it might get a bit more coming out of this. So we'll see what happens. It looks just that bit stronger at the moment, but this could all turn around once again as we sort of run into the key moving averages there, the 34.21 before, maybe the 50 next time. In fact, that 50 may be a target eventually. So euro looking in bounce territory at the moment. The pound yesterday was a bit of an odd one. It did get sort of the best of both worlds at one stage, best of the upside and then best of the downside. Bit less positive on the pound at the moment. It is picking up this morning now, and it has been one of the bigger movers, and well, looking like it has some upside potential, maybe back to those prior highs. If you come down to the 60-minute time frame and look at the daily pivots on here, that's sort of those prior highs up here, 36.30 with the or 28 with the R1, all possible. It's just the shape of what's doing here, high lows, high highs. It's just pitched another one in there. Just looking to see post 8 o'clock whether it starts pushing up and beyond towards that R1 is a possibility for a day trading point of view. Okay, Dolly Yen. Well, yen, another odd one. It was a very odd one yesterday. It's up and down it was up and down. Anyway, not a tradable currency a lot of the time. That said, we did see some movements that were quite a bit cleaner, but that sort of had already come into play earlier part of the morning, and it just carried on, but eventually bouncing here. And as the other markets were getting stronger, this was getting weaker, or the yen was getting weaker against the US dollar. Bit of no man's land here, and I know my 30-minute charts just switch this back to a 60. If anything, it looks like it's sort of an ugly bear flag that's sort of looking like it may just roll off south, but just don't trust the yen at all. So personally, I'd step away from it. Aussie dollar. We've seen a bit more bounce in these commodity currencies. Yesterday it sort of ended up quite decently. It never really sold off too much. It looked like it was going to go. It broke the level I was looking for, but it was quite early on in the morning there, and it never really, as often happens, it loses traction in the London session there, and it did just that yesterday. There was the breakdown. It lost traction, and in fact eventually turned around, took the whole afternoon to move into anything at all, and then off it went, but just lost traction, and it's probably just showing the way. We were seeing oil coming off, etc., and you thought, well, it might have affected, but no, it just carried on bouncing and at the moment we're sort of getting close to those prior highs at 72.99. A break above that may be a bit more bullish. Okay, that's the Aussie. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar was actually doing half decent at times, with even though the oil price was coming down. The Canadian dollar was getting stronger at one stage, and well, it didn't end up too bad, and it's continuing at the moment. It seems to be one of the stronger pairings in what I'm looking at the moment. Remember, this is US dollar, Canadian dollar. If you think where it's coming down, yep, sure it is. It, it, it it did its best to push up and get beyond yesterday. Never got into that nest of moving averages there, and well, as I said, it just got effectively, it just rolled over later on, got stronger again. It was sort of for most of the day in such a tight old range, and currently looking strong, getting back towards these lows, a bit like the inverted Aussie in that respect, looking like it could break through these lows and be off for a bit more of a journey. But we'll see what happens post 8 o'clock. So often you just see a switch round, and they're at areas where they could easily switch. New Zealand dollar actually yesterday was a bit of a, I'll just run into this on a shorter time frame. Effectively it was a sell on the news, and there was the widely expected interest increase, and it sold on the news. I'm looking at it on more of a swing basis, and particularly looking at it against the likes of the yen, where I think it's got an opportunity maybe to get into more of a trend. It will be used as a carry as soon as interest rates start moving up, and they're predicting there's 3 or 4 next year. It makes it, and I can almost guarantee there won't be any in Japan. It starts making, you've got negative effectively interest or flat interest rates in Japan. You've got 0.5% here at the moment. It makes the carry trade as long as the economy is doing reasonably well, which obviously, I say obviously, but it's pointing in that direction, and there's potential. It could be a decent carry, so more of a long-term look of the markets there. Talking of which, I quite like the Euro CAD at the moment. It's been coming off quite nicely now. I've said that it will probably reverse, but again, yesterday was given opportunities. It has been doing these lovely little moves here, but it might give some more away. It has rolled over, just diverging where it's sitting at the moment. Maybe it's running out of legs for now, but it does look like it's got further downside there. Anyway, there you go. And it may be one of the retracement, maybe back to dailies just to watch. May give a short opportunity. Looking at the other markets, gold. Let's run back out to the dailies here. Gold, it's just continues to consolidate here. It's a bit up and down. There's little point going anywhere more on that for me. I'm sort of bearish on it. I mean, it was gaining yesterday when everything was selling. It's a bit safe, move to safety. It's pitching up a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more bullish coming through as the uncertainty in these markets, inflation and everything else. But it's consolidating. A break back above its monthly pivot may be a little bit more positive, and we may see a more of a move. But consolidation and trying to day trade it, and it gets quite messy at times. Oil took a bit of a kick in with Russia talking in the energy markets about releasing more gas, and there was movement on the side of oil as well. And we've seen this move here, and it's a bearish engulfing bar. Looks quite negative. Looks like we could have further downside on that as it sits at the moment, but always a funny old one. But there's enough negativity sitting there at the moment. It's slowed down the momentum. You see the size of the bar slowing down. Maybe a bounce off the 34 this morning, but it's looking a little bit more negative, but I haven't written it off yet. I think it's still got potential to push up with the excitement out there. Talking of excitement, let's just bring in, let's move to the next markets and switch over. Oh, actually, okay, they've got it first. Yes, let's have a look at the equity markets. Well, Overnight, Nikkei 225 through the Asian session, not being able to hold on to the gains. It's popped and dropped, well, pushed up and drops back again. It's almost by where it opened there, struggling to push ahead. However, what time are we? 8:01. We should see some. There we go. Strong start with the FTSE here, and this is sort of corresponds with the currencies. The dollar softer, and the other currencies looking a little bit stronger. And we're seeing the FTSE up there. The DAX is likewise pushing up a little bit at the moment. It looks like it gapped up quite nicely from its previous bar there. It's a bit of a gap and it's pushing up. The CAC likewise pushing up at the moment. Now, of course, all these markets, it's so early in the market, they can the time frame they can switch around, but they do look a little bit more positive. You look at the S&Ps again, looking a bit more positive this morning, and we've had a couple of days now in the S&Ps where it started picking up, although decent sell-offs in the midst of things, and then well, it's picking up at the moment, and well, as soon as I start getting a little bit bearish, it's turning, but we'll see. Nasdaq at the moment, 100, Nasdaq 100, Nasdaq pushing up there also. So I'm just wary, a little wary on the buy side at the moment. Now these could go ahead and get some momentum. We're talking of momentum. We'll be looking at a market in a moment that's picked up a bit, or had picked up a bit of momentum, as I was looking at it yesterday. Even the Dow Jones here picking up a little bit. Never really sold off quite so much. The Dow Jones looking a bit more bullish. So overall, it's a bullish start to these markets. It's whether they can hold on to their gains. I'm a little bit skeptical at the moment whether they will do. Looking at crypto, Bitcoin, what a move yesterday. Continuation through yesterday, taking out the highs there, confirming the stronger, the higher low, and well, seeing possibly some profit taken this morning, but it's one of those markets that can easily get carried away quite quickly. And we see these sort of sharp moves up. It would be probably better for itself if it can consolidate, then build up again. It's got more likely to stay there, but it's in that sort of sharp action. In fact, this sort of action is a little bit easier to we just get the in between days or whatever else, the down days or whatever else. It's more it's just likely to push up and continue for a bit longer. So you just want a shove up, consolidation, a shove up. That's what you need. Anyway, that's what it's doing at the moment. It's certainly shoving up part. Ethereum and Ripple behind the curve, not pushing beyond their prior highs yet, and certainly not the more significant high from the September high here. So they're just, as I say, just not moving in the same way. And Cardano, likewise, just not going with it. It's really a bit. Normally, Bitcoin leads and the others follow in a more significant way, and very similar. This is taking out the September highs, and yeah, it's looking much more positive at this stage. Of course, the any big correction could be quite sharp. Anyway, there we are. That's it for me today. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll speak to you in the morning. Bye for now.